Thank you all for joining the session today. Today we are going to talk about a new services which is called AWS IAM. So basically IAM, it's a identity access management. So whatever the AWS account we are creating, so that's a normally root account. So root account we are not sharing to anyone. So by using IAM, we are creating a users based on the services wise, and we are providing access to AWS environment to manage the services. So here we have a IAM user is there. So this IAM user will be creating from the IAM service. So initially we need to log in with the root user. After that, you can directly go to services, security, identity, compliance. So here we have IAM services available. So basically IAM service is a global service. It's not a specific to only region. It's a global service means so this service is used for managing all the regions in AWS environment. So that's why it is a global service. So regions, everything will be grayed out. It will be showing directly as a global. So in identity access management, if you go to the a dashboard, you can see how many users group, how many users, roles, policies, everything it will be displaying here. Okay. So let's discuss one by one. So what is the use of each and every feature where we are using in real-time environment. So let's go to first theoretical topic. Then we will go to the practical demo. So without IAM, we cannot provide access to user to logging into the AWS environment. So we are not sharing a root username and password to the users. That's a confidential information we are not sharing to anyone in the team. Only the project main account manager or maybe the client holding the root username and password. And once AWS account is created, the next job is going to IAM and creating a users who managing the AWS services very closely. So in real-time environment, if you have a big environment like such a big companies, IAM management services for separately they'll be maintained one team that's called IAM team. So they'll handle the whoever joining into the team into the account and whoever move out from the project based on the request of providing access to the services, those type of job they'll be maintained. We can manage the services through policies to the users and the groups and roles. So the policies nothing but and how you will be managing the services with permissions, without permissions. Granular level access will be provided to the user. So with this IAM service, we can configure multi-factor authentication also. Example, you're logging with a username and password to the AWS management console. Along with that second step verification MFA also we can configure to provide a more security to user logging in. So this IAM service only providing to programmatic access and management console access users. So only admins and developers have only access to IAM services. So IAM service user access, then you'll be logging into AWS management console or maybe service level access. then they'll be doing the job. So normal user, example, there is a call center user. Okay. So call center user, he don't want to use any AWS services. Maybe he will use maybe differently uh, application directly without directly accessing the AWS environment. So in this case, user ID will not creating in the IAM. So only IAM users, only specifically administrators and the developers. Example, you are a SQL administrator, you are Oracle administrator. So what is your roles and responsibility? You will be logging into AWS Management Console. You're creating the Windows servers and installing the databases and managing the databases, creating the instances and providing the permissions. All these activities you are doing, right? Yeah. So only you have access to AWS Management Console, only particular level. Not all the services in AWS environment. So only specific level of services they'll be providing access to you. So let's go to the lab. I'll show you clearly. Example, this is the AWS environment. Okay. This is the AWS environment. Suppose he is a user. hmm, He is a user. So username is Padma. Okay. Padma is attending an interview with one of the company. So company name is ABC Limited. Okay. ABC. ABC Corp, some company. She joined as a Windows administrator. She joined as maybe Linux administrator, whatever it is. She managing the, she will be managing the servers in the cloud. Servers in the cloud. So this is a AWS environment. This is the AWS environment. This AWS environment, she don't have directly access. So I need to create a username in IAM service. This is IAM service. I need to create a username in, okay, IAM service. So how to create a username Padma in IAM service? So first, go to IAM service, click on users. Oh, Padma user ID already is there. Let's take example Suresh. I need to create a username Suresh. So go to users, add user, username is Suresh. So provide user access to the AWS Management Console. And I need to specify some policies will be there. Specify user identity center recommended. I want to create an IAM user. I want to create an IAM user. Example, Suresh also going forward, if any new user is joining in the company, he wants to create a additional user IDs. User IDs will be in IAM service. You can provide access. I'm not providing anything. Click on next and go to manage identity center. So this is a separate service will be available. So here we will be managing it. So manage identity center, IAM identity center is a separate service. I'll discuss later. So first of all, I'm providing only the IAM user access to Suresh. I'm going to set a custom password for Suresh by default. Welcome at the rate 123. See, and I'm instructing to next time user will be logging into AWS environment, user must creating a new password in next sign in. So that's the reason everybody, when I'm creating a user, all users I'm creating in IAM service, by default password will be welcome at the rate 123. So even I can log in with the Suresh ID, right? I can do some mistakes. Okay. I can do some manipulations. So I don't want to do that. So if I'm giving an option, user will be next time logging in with this welcome at the rate 123, it will immediately ask to change the password. So that's why I'm enabling this. Next, I'm not providing any services. Directly click next and review and create an account. So finally, Suresh account is created successfully. So you can show the password. You can click show the password and you can copy and you can share it. And how can I share this information to Suresh? So normally I need to share these three information: console, sign in URL, username and password. These three information I need to share to the user. So either you can manually can copy and you can compose email and send to Suresh. That's a one method. Either you can directly click download the CSV file. Okay. CSV file. And you can share these files to Suresh. You can share this file to Suresh. You can see here. Got it? Even the CSV file you can share. Username, password. This is console to login. Or there's a one more method, email sign in instruction. When you click this screen, pop-up screen, if you have any Outlook is configured. So you can directly use like this. You can directly use like this. So example, if you have any browser, maybe you're opening the web mails, okay? Web mails, you can open like this, okay? But directly it will be opening is very difficult, okay? Directly opening is very difficult. So my suggestion is you need to configure Microsoft Outlook. So if Microsoft Outlook is configured, automatically this information will be composed in email. You can easily send to Suresh. So go to return to a user list. So Suresh is successfully created. Now if I select the Suresh only can change the password. That's it. He has a permission. He has a permission. No other permissions are available other than IAM user change password. So how Suresh will be logging in? See guys. So first, what are the link they provided here? This is called IAM user sign in link. You can copy this link. You can copy this link, paste here in the browser. Now can type username and password to logging in. So username is Suresh, password welcome at the rate 123. Now it is asking to change the password. So old password, new password. Confirm password change. So successfully password is changed. I'm logging in with the username Suresh. Got it right? How to create a user ID? Suppose there is a one more user is joined in the team. Okay. One more user is joined. Okay. This username is Somya. Okay. I'm informing to Suresh. Hey Suresh, can you please create a one more user is will be joining to our team. So his name is Somya. Can you please create a AWS IAM account and you can share the username password to him. So Suresh is go to his login, go to services and click on security identity and click on IAM service and trying to create a new user, creating a new user. You can see here, Suresh does not have any permissions to create a IAM user, IAM group, anything because he is not a IAM administrator. He is a IAM user. Suresh is the only IAM user. He is not a IAM administrator. So he need a permission, then only he can create it. Access denied. So how can I provide access? Let me go to root account with my root account. So here the username is Suresh. So here is the permissions. Click on add permissions. So there is a permissions like a attach policies directly is there. What permission is needed? So we have a 1067 policies are there. That means different services, features. So one policy they created. So like that 1067, okay, 1067 policies are available in AWS. So now I'm going to give IAM. So IAM full access I need to provide to Suresh. Select IAM full access. Next, add permission. So now Suresh is IAM administrator. Let's go to the browser. So Suresh account, refresh the home page. Refresh the page. Now he is a IAM user. Now he can create new user. Now he can create a new user. Username is Somya. Right? Like this. You can provide a username. So successfully, Somya user ID created. So what is meaning of user groups? What is meaning of user group? Example, I'm going to hire nearly 3 to 5 people to managing the IAM service. Example, okay, one of the service is IAM service. I want to hire 3 to 5 people. I want to provide a IAM service. So what we will do normally? Create a user, then add a user into the IAM policy. Then only user become as a IAM administrator. So now that's a very difficult process every time creating user, adding into the IAM policy. So first create a one group, username group. The group name is IAM admin group. IAM admin group I'm creating. IAM admin group. So later on, I'll add the users. Maybe if you want to add a users directly, you can add it like this. Example, Mahesh, Padma, Rajesh, Soumya, Suresh, you can add it. So what permissions needed? So IAM full access, create a group. That's it. So now whoever part of this group, directly they have IAM admin access. Suppose I'm going to create a new user. So who is a new user now? Example, I'm going to create username is Manikanta. Okay. Click add user. Manikanta. Provide access to the AWS Management Console. Custom password. Okay. Next, see, you can directly add users to the group. See, add users to the group option. You can select here and click on next and create a user. That's it. So Manikanta is directly added to, okay, directly added to IAM admin group. IAM admin group. So he can manage he can manage IAM services because of he is a part of IAM admin group. Are you clear? So like that, based on the technology service team, will be creating a group and managing the users with the services very easily. So when you join the company, you please check that in IAM, what are the services groups are there, and based on that, what is your role, what is your permissions, everything you please check that. When you're joining, first 1 or 2 days, once you get access, you please verify it. That's a very, very important thing. So you'll not get all the access in all the services in AWS Management Console. Even I don't have access to all the services in AWS. I have only few access in my company. They not provide a full access to all the services in AWS console. Any other question? Mahesh, Padma, any questions?
No, right.
No, right. Good. Let's go to the roles. What is meaning of roles? So roles is nothing but you can perform your activity with uh, fully elevated permissions. Fully elevated permissions. Example, you are working as a AWS DevOps engineer. You are delivering some particular services, but you need a permissions on the particular services. So if you are using the particular role, you can do your job. Example, Amazon EC2, Amazon EC2 permission is needed. So here the EC2 role will be attached to the particular task, the task we can perform. So what is the benefit here? So the benefit is example Padma, she wants to deliver some applications on some Windows servers. So I can provide access to code deploy and EC2 services access, not for the users, providing the task. So once she will be doing the job, during that time, when she will be calling the role name, that is called the important role name, the role will do the job. So I'm not providing the permissions to the user, I'm providing the permissions to the task. So without entering the username and password, so normally with this particular roles, we can do our job. So with this role, we can easily track and lost when we are using these particular services, you can see this recently, huh? Recently, when we are use this task. So particularly 51 minutes ago, I used EC2 services. 1 hour ago, this is service used. 2 hours ago, this service we used. So sometimes somewhere else we are using it. Okay, directly, indirectly. So that will be easily we can get track. So this is a default roles will be there. This is a default roles will be there. And some roles we have created custom roles. Going forward in AWS DevOps concept, we will be creating some additional roles and we will do the job. So until unless we are not touching these points, okay, creating a new role and doing that. So example, I'll show you how to create a role. So the role will be creating based on the AWS services or maybe AWS account or maybe custom trusted policy, web identity and all. 95% of the services we are using AWS services only. In AWS services, the main common used services are EC2 and Lambda. And other than any services you want to create it, you can select from this drop-down list. Okay. Suppose you have created, you want to create a service name called EC2. You can select and click next. In EC2, what permission you needed. Example, in Amazon EC2 services, you need to download the logs from S3. So you need a permission is S3 you need to provide. So example, S3 full access is needed. Maybe uh, read-only access also, that would be fine. So without modification, click next and you have to create the policy name. So whenever you're doing the task, you can assign this role, the job will get successfully completed. The job will get successfully completed. I'm unable to show you the output because of I need a big environment to explain it. Okay, I need a big environment to explain. So I hope some people are already joining the AWS DevOps classes, and you already attended how to create a IAM role for EC2 with a S3 and a code deploy, etc. services, right? The role. So who are not attended, going forward, you will be understand in couple of weeks. Okay. Click on cancel. Go to the policies. So the policies, as we discussed, based on the services and features in AWS environment, AWS itself, they'll be creating a policies. With that policies, we have a privileged access. Either you can full access, limited access. Okay. Based on that, we can work together. So without policies, no access will be there. With policies, you have access, maybe limited access, you will get it. Example, IAM services I provided just now, sometime back to Suresh and other users. So we got it access, then only we can create a new users. If you don't have access to the a particular policy, you're not able to manage the particular services. So nearly we have a 200 plus services are there. All 200 services policies are readily available. So these all policies are created by AWS only. If you want create a custom policy, you can create it. Mostly you don't require any custom policies. If you want, yes, you can create it. When you want to create, you need a proper knowledge on the particular services, then only you can create it. Example I'm showing, create a policy, okay, on EC2 because of you have attended EC2 services session. That's what I'm explaining it. Choose a service. Suppose EC2. In EC2, multiple services are there. Only I'm selecting EC2. In EC2, you need all EC2 actions or maybe special access. List. List wise in EC2, these many tasks are there. Read, these many tasks are there. Tagging, these many tasks are there. Write, these many tasks are there. Okay. So it is very difficult to each and every services you need to understand what is a describe regions, describe VPCs. So it's a very difficult. Okay. Based on your experience on the particular services, then only you can create a custom policies. Okay. Now I'm going to example, see here. I'm going to creating all access example. All access means the below whatever the inside the policies we have seen, everything will be showing here. Okay. So all the resources level access you got it. So when you click on next, and you can, it will ask that, hey, this policy contains an error. You are required to choose the resources. You are required to choose the resources. Now minimize it. So you have to select the resources. Resources are not specified. Click on this, and which particular services you need to select this. So specific service you need to select. Example, I need a certificate services is needed on EC2 services. This is a certificate services. If you want, you can edit, you can select that. Maybe graphic processor unit, I want to configure it. Elastic IP address, I need to configure it. You can please select that. Okay. And click on next. And finally, you can create the policy name, and you can, maybe whatever the policy you're creating, the policy is needed for you. So with the scenario only you can create it. Otherwise, you don't have access. Example, example, I'll take a scenario. I'll take the scenario. So a user should manage the certificate services for EC2. So because of certificate means is the security services. And Elastic IP address is a network and providing the Elastic public IP address to the instances. Only this particular services we needed for your company. So that particular service is not available. I know that because of this particular roles only is not available in any of the services. So we can create a custom role with the certificate and Elastic IP address, and you can assign to Suresh or Padma or maybe Somya to manage the particular job role. But the particular task is needed for your day-to-day life. If you don't have any job now, don't create any policies unnecessarily. Okay. What are the main policies are created by AWS people? That's AWS technical team. That's more than enough. Not required. Any other question?
Uh, Rajesh, sir, so basically, when you are saying like in day to day, at like for AWS admin, he would not be taking care of IM. So IM would be a separate team altogether, correct?
Exactly.
But we should know like how it is being done. So like it's a very specialized field. IM.
So why I'm explaining this concept, right? Maybe in your project is a very small, and even IM service also you need to manage it. So
Okay.
that's why I'm explaining very clearly. So you have to do this, you have to do this. Then only you can do this job with this help of IM services. Okay.
Okay.
So mostly, right, a separate team will be there. They will take care of it. Once you raise a request, they'll provide access. Once you get approval from the management. But you need to know about it because of this is a AWS services, right? You need to know.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Next, identity providers. So identity providers means what? So normally, uh, this is a two types of identity providers are there. SAML identity, Open ID connector. So SML identity, very, very rarely they'll be using. Okay, they're using OpenID Connect is a third party one. You need to buy the services. So these two services used to connect the AWS environment in a secured way. Okay, with the only authenticated users, they'll be getting connected with these two services. So these are the separate services from third party, and we need to install and configure it. Then only we can provide. They will provide the metadata document file. We need to upload this. Okay, there's XML file will be there. So automatically the users list will be get imported here, and we can manage it. So this will be managed by a separate third party team. They will work together. So we don't have any other solutions here. So example, if you want SAML, SAML authentication. Okay, SAML authentication. So different services will be there. Okay. So this is a way we need to configure it. If you want how to configure SAML authentication in AWS IAM. So this is called Federation Services. So like this, we will be configuring it. This is a AWS services, right? So from this, your organization, they'll be configured this type of URL from the browser level, browser interface, and we'll be integrating the AWS endpoints with the STS Secure Token Authority services. They'll be configuring it. So we need to follow this document. They'll be creating it. So this is not that much of important for you. Before you join the company itself, this setup will be already done. Somebody using, somebody is not using. That depends on company to company. This is for providing a secured authentication. So we have a different methods are there nowadays popular. This is one of the method. If you want, you can use it. Okay, it's a very old method. It's not a new method. It's a very old method we are using nowadays. Everyone they'll be using like kind of two-factor authentication. Face identity recognition, fingerprint recognitions are available. And same way, and how to configure OpenID connector. OpenID connect authentication in AWS environment. This is also separate third-party provider. This is also separate a third-party provider. We need to install and configure it. So OpenID Connect website is there. You can go to Open. This is a OpenID Connect website. Maybe some internet issue. This is a OpenID Connect. Is a open source product will be available. So based on this architecture, we need to configure it. So nobody will help you on this. Okay. This is a open source site. No technical team, nothing will be there. You need to review the document and you need to configure with your services. So options are available. Next, if you go to account settings, so here I'll show you. Okay, here I'll show you some other important information. Password policies. So now I have selected the password for Suresh, welcome at the rate 123. So the password, how it will work. So based on the password policy, see here, the minimum password length I have set up by default will be 8 characters and uppercase, lower cases, one number, one special characters also required. So another required options is never password expire, must not be identical to your AWS account name and email address. So this type of a requirement will be provided. If you want, you can change, you can click this and you can change it. So this is a IAM default one. I'm going to change the custom one. So example, I don't want eight characters. I need a 10 characters. You can modify. So in the password, at least one capital letters is required. You can select that. In your password, at least one lowercase is required. You can select this. If you need one, at least one number, one special character is required. And other requirement is turn on password expiration. In case of password is expired, okay, how many days once we need to change the password? Example, 30 days once. 30 days once. Minimum 1 day, maximum 1095 days. 1095 days we can configure. So that's your wish. So some companies they'll be monthly, some companies they'll be maintained quarterly, they'll be maintained the password policy expiration. Password expiration request administrator reset. Only administrator can change the password. Yes, I am administrator can change the password. Allow users to change the password if you want that. Yes, you can provide that. In the AWS management console itself, in IAM console, user can change the password. Prevent password reuse. Example, I'm selecting the password is the welcome at the rate 123. After password expire, for easy to remember, I'm entering the same password again. It will not accept it. So how many times you can give that? Minimum 1 to 24 times you can select. Maximum in a real-time environment, 3 times we are selecting that. So 3 times we are not use the same password in a sequence manner. Example, now I'm giving welcome at the rate 123. Next time I'm not giving the same password. I'll give that welcome at the rate 1234. Again, third time welcome at the rate 12345. And fourth time I can use that. So less than 3 times I should not reuse it. So this is a way the password policies I can set up. So every company has some password policy. They will be updated here. I'm not changing anything. I'm going with the default password. Any other question? So next, secure token services. This will be a kind of a security transaction between the end user to the services. So every service, every region has a secure token services will be activated. So in case of any service is not activated, you can click activate at any point of time. So Suresh is not authorized to perform this action because of Suresh is a normal user. He don't have any permissions to that. Okay, but what is the use of it? That means that secure transaction. Let me explain the concept. You're going to the bank and you are withdrawing money. Okay, your name is Suresh. Okay, your name is Suresh. And once you enter into the bank and there is some token system will be there. The token system, they'll be provided, they'll be provided some kind of token, and so you'll be taking the token, then you'll be taking the withdrawal form and you'll be applying. You're you're writing your name and your account number and how much amount you want to withdraw. So everything you'll be writing on the withdrawal form and you'll be submitting to one of the banker. So banker will be verifying your transactions in the bank. So whether you're a valid user or not. So once you're a valid user, cashier will call you, hey Suresh, who is this? So you'll go and you'll take the money. Okay. Suppose, suppose maybe Suresh he got some important call. Maybe you should not answer the calls inside the bank, right? He'll be just move out from the bank. He come out from outside. So during the time the cashier is calling Suresh, maybe some other person name also Suresh. Okay. Maybe he came for to deposit the money for paying some his loan. Okay. And he went to the particular cashier and are you Suresh? Yes, sir, I'm Suresh. So directly cashier will giving some amount to the Suresh and he'll be taking and he ran away. Right. What is the security? So to give the money to the exact people, so he will collect the token from the customer. So cashier will ask that Suresh, hey Suresh, can you give me your token? So at the time of he's giving the submitting the request for withdrawal amount, so the banker will note it down the token number on the requested form. So example, token number is 18. So if he's showing the token number is 18 and he will collect the token and he'll give the money. Otherwise, no. Because the token is a unique system to exchange your transactions. Same way here, secure token service also will be there. With these particular services, they'll be maintained by AWS to transfer a data from client to server, server to client in a secured way. That's a secure token services. You don't want to do anything. Just is some important information for you. Are you clear? Any other questions? Next, suppose Suresh wants to logging in his account with some security. So go to his security credentials. So he will be only his login ID will be there and management console access. That's it. So, but his username and password not as safe and secure to logging in. So he can create a multi-factor authentication as an MFA device. So what he will do, you need to maintain one of the particular device. So like example, mobile device should act as a authenticator app. Either you need to buy a security key from the company. There's a uh, security token. So like example, RSA token. So this type of physical device is required. Okay. So this type of USB sticks or maybe this type of wireless device is required. So one of this request, then only you will be logging in. Otherwise, no. So this is a security authentication. So nowadays companies definitely we are using one of the method. Most usable method is authenticator app. Your mobile, you need to install authenticator app and you need to configure it. So what is the device name? Example, Suresh Mobile. Suresh Mobile. Okay. Guys, I am installing the mobile app and my system on my mobile and I'm configuring. Okay. So please understand. So example, I'm using iPhone. Which authenticator app I need to install? Microsoft Authenticator app, Google Authenticator app, and the third-party authenticator apps also available. So better you can either use a Microsoft Authenticator app or Google Authenticator app. So even Google Authenticator app is available for iPhone and Android phones also is there. So Google Authenticator app, how look like? Google Authenticator app. This is the logo will be there. I already installed on my mobile. So once you install the mobile, so this type of plus symbol will be there. Once you click on that, so this type of QR code will be asking. We need to scan the code. So click on next. So I think is a valid name. So here is the QR code is there. Click on this and I need to scan this first. So example, I open my mobile, Google Authenticator app. I opened it. Now click on QR code and just now I scanned it. Once I scan, I got automatically some number will be displaying on my mobile. So that number I need to enter in the MFA code here. 423286. And next number it will be displaying. Again, you need to wait and you can enter this 335343 and you can click add MFA. That's it. So based on these two codes, the MFA device is activated. MFA device is activated. So now if I'm sign out the username Suresh, again login back, okay. Suresh, welcome at the rate 1234, click sign in and it last MFA code and I need to open the phone and I need to check the code what it is displaying on my screen. I need to type this. Then click submit. This is a secured way to log in. Is a secured way to logging in. Any other question? Any other question, guys?
I think no, we're good.
Thank you. So next, dashboard management. So if you want, you can change this name. Okay, this is a number will be there, right? If you don't want to displaying this your AWS account name in the IAM sign-in link, you can create some alias name, some duplicate name for your easy understand purpose. Example, my AWS batch 114 example. So see, it is my AWS batch 114 dot sign in dot aws.amazon.com/console. So this URL you can easily remember and we can log in. So instead of remembering this number, you can create a user-friendly name. Okay. Suppose I'm saving here. The name is like this. Now, can next time Suresh is logging in, not only Suresh, anybody, so they can use that account. So see here, and hit enter. It directly go to my account. See, it will not displaying the account number. So it's a security feature. Now I can log in with the username and password. So these are the main concepts. You need to practice it, okay? And the rest of the concepts we will be discussed in the upcoming sessions, okay? Not that much important right now. So 70% of the topic is covered in the IAM service. Remaining 30% we will work with along other services, okay? If right now if you're learning again, we need to repeat the same concept in future classes. So everybody please create and practice it today itself. It's very, very important. Any questions before leaving this today? Thank you.